Hi everybody, and welcome to my new little segment on my channel called Pageant Talk with Alyssa. So, like I said in my last video, I'm really behind on videos. So I'm finally getting around to talking about the Miss Universe pageant that happened this year. I know there was a lot of controversy with this pageant, and I will get to the whole ending and the crazy stuff. But first I want to talk about the competitions of the girls and my opinions as if I was a judge. I made like a whole bunch of notes, so don't judge my handwriting, it's terrible. But I've got like 4 pages of notes. They're little notes though, so. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my thoughts, how I would have judged this pageant if I were a judge. A little bit about what I liked and what I didn't like about each contestant in their different competitions, just starting with the top 15. So let's get right to it. We're going to start with the swimwear competition with the top 15, and I'll just go in order of how they competed. So we'll start with Brazil. I thought that Brazil looked gorgeous in her swimsuit, but her face wasn't really in it. She was there and on stage, and she looked happy, but her eyes were just kind of dead. There wasn't the passion that a lot of them see on stage. She didn't look excited to be there. She was just sort of there. She looked like she was thinking a lot. Her face, she was really concentrating on what she was doing instead of just letting it flow out and have fun. And she was really, really bouncy, which a little bit of bounce I think is a good thing, but when you're bouncing up and down here, there is a too much in a pageant. I think she could have smoothed her walk out a little bit and fixed a lot of those problems. But I thought she looked really gorgeous on stage. So let's go on to Australia. I thought Australia looked like she did want to be there and that she was having fun. But I felt like she kind of had a little bit of a fake smile on. Her eyes were in it and her eyes were having fun, but she just kind of had the same smile the whole time. And I like to see a little bit of change and look a little bit more natural than having a plastered on smile. I thought her swimsuit fit her really well, and I thought that she looked really gorgeous on stage. Next was Indonesia. I thought her walk was a little bit fast, but it wasn't too bouncy and it worked. I didn't love her hair. I believe it was in a slicked back ponytail, and it just didn't work for me at all. Some people can pull off the slicked off ponytail, and some people it's like, okay, please don't. I didn't love it, but I thought that her walk was really good and her swimsuit was really cute too. Dominican Republic. She was very confident. I was a fan of her little turn and her walk. I'm always a fan of that. To me, it shows confidence and like you're having fun on the stage, like you want to be there, and I really liked it. And she really looked like she was having fun, and her swimsuit fit her really well. Philippines, I loved her swimsuit. Her boobs were really, really bouncy though, and I think that she could have helped a little bit with that with her walk if she would have slowed her walk down a little bit and smoothed it out. It wasn't too bad with the bouncy, but to me it was distracting. I'd rather look at her face. I did like her hair slicked back in a ponytail. It really worked with the shape of her face. France. Loved the color of her swimsuit. It was great. Again, her face wasn't really in it. She had her walk down really, really well, and her swimsuit fit gorgeous on her, but her eyes weren't there. Her smile was, and she looked like she knew what she was doing, but she didn't look like this was the one chance she gets to be on the Miss USA stage, and she wasn't really taking it all in. I think she was probably overthinking it a little bit, but she looked gorgeous. Miss USA. She was definitely having fun. She had a good walk. I didn't love her swimsuit. I didn't love the print of it, but it looked really good on her body, and you could tell that she loved it. So I would have probably disregarded the print of the swimsuit because of how she wore it and how she was on stage. Curacao, I don't remember how to say that. She had a really great smile. She looked very confident and really comfortable in her skin. Her walk was good, and she looked like, again, she was having fun on the stage. Belgium. Loved the color of her swimsuit. Did not love the swimsuit on her at all. But she had a great smile and had a pretty confident walk. But again, with the eyes, I don't think there was enough in her eyes like, yes, I'm here. Yes, this is what I get to do. I'm so excited. It was more of a, okay, I'm on this stage and I'm freaking out a little bit, but my smile's on. But like I said, her smile was beautiful. So Japan, I did not love her face. They talked about how she had this problem of smiling too much and too big when she was on the stage. I don't think that's a problem, but you could definitely tell she was toning it down in her swimsuit. And I think swimsuit is the one time you don't really want to tone down a smile, even if people think you smile too much. I think it needs the smile. So I didn't love that half the time she had a straight face like a catwalk. But she was really good at having her eyes in it. So I look for that. I don't know what it is. Venezuela. I loved her suit. Again, she had a really cute little turn in it, and she executed the turn really well in her modeling. Again, I love someone that draws you into their eyes, and I did not feel like Venezuela did that. So, but again, these girls are freaking gorgeous. South Africa. She had her tag hanging out of the back of her swimsuit. I could not believe it. Like, I'm one of those girls at the pageant that if I see someone else's tag hanging out of their swimsuit, I'm just gonna tuck it in. I'm not even gonna like say, hey, your tag's sticking out. Is it okay if I fix it? No, I would just be like all up in there, but like, oh, let's not have that hanging out. I don't know why nobody fixed that for her. I would have been mortified if I would have found out later that my tag was hanging out. But she looked gorgeous in her swimsuit other than the tag hanging out. I didn't love the way she had styled her hair, but she was confident and I like that. Colombia, loved her swimsuit. She had a pretty good walk. It was a little fast and really, really wide-legged, but she carried herself really well and she had a lot of confidence, but it didn't come off as too confident. Mexico, loved the color of her swimsuit. And I loved the way she walked. She was so smooth and flowy, but she was still having fun and like, oh yeah, I'm still in a swimsuit and I'm still freaking hot, but I can walk and make it look like I'm still a graceful pageant girl, and I liked that. And finally, Thailand. She had a pretty good walk, and she definitely had her face in it, and I really like when they have their face in it, so I'm going to move this hair. It's driving me crazy. So that would be my top 15 comments. Now let's move on to the evening gown, so top 10. Again, we'll just go right in order. So Miss USA, I'll try to speed things up a little bit. This is going on forever. Miss USA, I didn't love her cape thing on her dress, but she did have a great walk and a great smile. That's all I had written down. Colombia, she had a beautiful dress. She had a confident walk, and again, her eyes were in it, and I love that. Japan, I didn't love her dress, and I loved her smile, but I think she needed more still. Again, her eyes were amazing and way into it, and I love that. Thailand, I did not like her hair, and her dress didn't fit well on her. It was a gorgeous dress, but it just didn't quite fit her like it should have. But she had a great walk. Australia, I liked her dress. She kind of lost her face when she slipped up a little bit. And again, people slip. It's okay as long as you keep going. But you could tell that she was kind of afraid that she was going to slip again after that. And so she kind of got a little more hesitant and wasn't quite as confident afterwards. But she did keep right on going, and she kept her face after she slipped up, which is good. Dominican Republic, I loved her dress, and I was really drawn into her, and she looked like she was having fun. France, I loved the dress, and I loved her face. I did not love the way she had her hair done, and she didn't quite have enough eyes for me. Again, I love the eyes, so that's kind of my thing. But she had a great walk as well. Curacao, I loved her dress. Her hands were doing weird things while she was walking, and that's really distracting for me. It's one of my things that I used to really struggle with, so I notice things like that now. I wrote down weird shiny thing. Don't really know what that means. Philippines. I loved her gown. It looked gorgeous on her, but it wasn't too much. It was an amazing gown, but she wore the gown instead of the gown wearing her. She did slip as well, but she didn't let it faze her at all. She didn't lose her face in it. She had just as much confidence after her slip up as she did before, and I thought she did a great job. Venezuela, I loved her dress. Her hair was kind of flighty and frizzy, kind of like mine is right now, but she had really good confidence. So now on to the top 5 and their on-stage questions. These ones I have a little bit more to say about them because it is the top 5. So we'll start with Philippines. Her answer was on topic, which was really good. I like that she looked at Steve while he was asking her the questions, and then she looked at the audience to answer it, and she did acknowledge Steve when she started to answer, which to me, I really like that. I did a whole video on an onstage question, an onstage interview, so you can see a little bit more of my opinions if you go to that video, and I'll link it in the description. She also didn't stutter at all, which was really good, and I thought she did a great job on it. France, I felt she paid too much attention to her interpreter. I know that you have to pay some attention to the interpreter, and you have to answer and then let them repeat your answer and stuff like that, but I felt like she was way too focused on making sure the interpreter said exactly what she said than just answering the question. Okay, I also thought that France didn't really look at the audience a whole lot. I think, again, that was because she was so focused on her interpreter and back. She also had a lot of movement. She was moving around a lot, and she didn't really, again, look at the audience, but she had her eyes up a lot while she was answering, and she looked like she was really thinking about it. But she was on topic, and I felt that was good. Australia, she didn't acknowledge Steve while he was talking to her, which to me that's a little weird. I like to look at someone when they ask me a question, but some people don't, and I guess that's okay too. She did have a good answer. She was a little bit rambly on it. She just kind of kept going on and on and on, and it was kind of a yes or no question, like yes, she wants to legalize it, or no, she doesn't, and why. And she didn't really give a firm yes or a firm no, but she did stay on topic and she did answer the question. Let's see, Colombia just needs to put her hands down. When she stands with her hands on her hips the whole time, to me it's one of those, oh, I'm so much better than you. To me it seems a little bit closed off. My thing is just put your hands down to your side. It shows a little more confidence. Like, yes, I can stand here and I don't have to have a specific place for my hands to feel comfortable. She was a lot better with her interpreter than France was. She just talked and let the interpreter do her thing. She had a really good answer, and she had really good eye contact with the audience and the judges and with Steve. USA, hallelujah, there was no cape on her dress. I did not love the cape. And her dress still looked really good without it. She struggled to keep talking. She was too focused on the audience's reaction to her answer than on her answer itself. And I just was like, keep talking, finish your answer. I want to keep hearing it, but she was like, oh, they're clapping, I'm going to stand here. Which, to a certain extent, that's good, but she never got to finish her answer, and I think part of that was because she was so focused on waiting for the audience. But the answer was good, and I did want to hear the rest of it, so I felt that was a positive thing. Overall, the order they ended up in, I felt was correct. The end one, I felt Philippines absolutely deserved to win, and I would have put Colombia as a pretty close second. And the way that Steve Harvey handled that situation, I think was perfect. For him to just go up and say, this was my fault, I totally did this wrong, I'm so sorry, but we need to switch things around. That's perfect, and to me that's the way it should have been. And I think it's funny that this has gotten so much publicity, because that happens all the time in the pageant world, where you announce a wrong award and you have to go out and correct it. That's just what happens. And I know Donald Trump went out and said, well, I would have just made them co-winners. I don't really agree with that. I think it's not fair to the girls to have co-winners, and I think it would have been a lot better. I think that it was perfect the way that it was handled. I feel like if you do a co-winner, it's not fair to either one of the girls, because that's a one-time opportunity, and then to have to share that opportunity with someone else, I think would be harder than having to be like, okay, I didn't really win, but holy cow, I came in second in the Miss Universe pageant. That's pretty freaking amazing. And lately there's been a lot saying that, oh, they did that on purpose. I don't think they did it on purpose either. I think it just happened. I mean, like I said before, it happens all the time in the pageant world, and people don't realize it a lot, but I've had it happen on more than one occasion on pageants that I was in where the wrong winner was announced, and they just have to go out and say, I read the card wrong. I did it wrong. And so I felt like Steve Harvey handled it exactly how he should have, and I felt that it was really big of him to completely take the blame for it and say, look, it wasn't the system's fault. It was mine. I'm the one that did it wrong. Don't blame Miss Universe. So I thought that was really good. And so that's my opinion on the whole what happened and my notes on the competition itself. So if you liked this video, please subscribe and like it and comment what you thought about it. And don't forget to check out my blog. I'm going to put a post up with exactly what my notes say on there here soon. It's at pageanting101.com. I would love for you to check that out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'm hoping to be able to do another Pageant Talk with Alyssa video here soon about the next pageant that I get to see. So we'll see. Thanks so much for watching. See ya!